Hello and welcome to the LieStream. I am your host, Kevin Lee Father, Kevin Williams, and producer Joanna is Thirst. Good job, producer Joanna. Everyone wants to be Thirst. I'm a little thirsty today. It's a little bit tart today. The blood of children. Yes, QAnon is right, okay? They got it right. It's out in the open now. Trump has endorsed them. Yeah, there's a deep state, and we drink the blood of children. Oh, relax. It's immigrants' blood, not American children. Great news about Bannon. I mean, come on. Come on. What did we think was going to happen? Here's Trump. He's got some trucks. He's in Pennsylvania. The Fox headline was he's going to give a speech near the birthplace of Joe Biden. Okay. I don't know if that's on purpose. I know he loves trucks. So here we go.
State, we won this state. I don't know.
Oh, he's loud. Hold on. Can you guys even hear that? Had some audio issues earlier.
I don't know if you know.
Yeah. It's okay. Is he a little too loud? I got a thing that'll adjust the C-SPAN volume for us. So that's implemented right now. It seems to be a little bit loud. I'm going to turn him down. I don't want to blast you guys. Hold on. Let me look at my level and look at his level.
What's going on outside?
Blah, 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 blah. We just need Maria Bartolomé in here right now as well, talking at the same time. Blah, 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 blah. Here we go.
But that's right, Lou. That's as many people as you can possibly have all the way back.
What?
We won this state. I don't know if you know what's going on outside.
As you know what's going on outside. They took away my keys. I don't know how to drive. They took my keys. I put them in my pocket. I don't know how to drive a truck. It's a truck. I don't know. That's what's going on outside. That's proud.
Thank you very much. This is really great. We
Woo!
love this state. We won this state. I don't know if you know what's going on outside.
It's outside.
But that's right, Lou. That's as many people as you can possibly have all the way back. How did you get in?
How's it
That's
get?
my question.
It's a question.
I know you're special friends of a group.
I touched the mic. Okay, the mic's now.
Right, Lou, that's as many people as you can possibly have all the way back.
Adjust the mic. Put
How
it
did
right
You
back.
Get in?
Put it back
That's
where it
my
was.
question.
Yeah, put it
I
up
know
and
you're
then down.
special
Just
friends
down.
of a group
Right where it was.
of people that have done a really good job, and I want to thank you very much for being here.
Mega!
Pennsylvania's been very important to me. I went to school in Pennsylvania, as you know, and college,
Lied about graduating from Wharton.
and I love it. Please sit down. And by the time I finish, I'm going to have a nice sunburn right here. This is good.
Sunburn.
Where's my sunblock? But I want to thank everybody.
Okay, global warming. There it is right there. There's your proof. And he still won't believe.
75 days, we're going to win this state. We're going to win 4 more years. They've had us under siege, and we beat them, and we beat them, and we keep beating them. But I'll tell you, I've never seen anything. No president
Trump likes to beat it over and over again.
should have to go through what we've gone through. No president. Should never happen. And I watched President Obama last night, and I watched him talking about everything, and I had to put it out. I said, yeah, but he spied on our campaign, and he got caught. You know, that's about as bad a thing as you can imagine. If that
literally not a crime, not treason, not. If the intelligence agency suspects activity with a foreign source, that's what you do. You investigate it. If Obama was involved at all, there's nothing wrong with what he did. If he did anything.
happened to another campaign on the other side, they would have had 25 people in jail for many years already. Many, many years. It's a
That's what you've already got on your side. You got 25 people. Soon, Steve Bannon, he'll be in there. You can just pardon them all.
Disgrace. But in 3 years and what we've done in just this short period of time,
4 years.
There's been no administration that's accomplished what we've accomplished, and that's despite pandemics and despite all of the opposition and all of the witch hunts, the phony witch hunts. No administration's done what we've done. We've secured our borders, brought back our manufacturing jobs, rebuilt our military.
No, manufacturing's been in contraction. Manufacturing is much lower now than it was.
Wiped out the ISIS caliphate 100%.
Yeah.
Killed our terrorist enemies, achieved American energy.
There's still lots of terrorists. Hey, if you're joining us for the first time, I'm Kevin LieFather. This is what we do. We yell truth to power. Sometimes we're drunk when we're doing it. The drinking word is Democrash. If you want to contribute to this, a couple of addresses you can use there, PayPal or Venmo, or you can just go to Kevin LieFather and become one of the patrons. Either way, you end up with your name in the credits. Eventually, Phyllis, I don't know if I've added you yet. I will. I've been building a studio for audio. My tummy's not feeling well today.
Independence.
Oh yeah, so go to kevinleefather.com to help my tummy feel better. If I get 5 more patrons today, my tummy will be healed miraculously.
And guess what? We're just getting started. That's
just
a small part of it.
Just getting started on Democrats.
That's a small part of it. At stake in this election is the survival, and you know this, you know it, and I mean it.
At stake in the election is you know it, you know it. If this is anybody's uncle at Thanksgiving, it's like, let's not let Rob have any more of the rose hip wine.
And I've never meant it more.
Yeah, we're all out, Uncle Rob. We didn't think that many people were going to show up, quite frankly, what with the pandemic and all, but yeah. No, you don't need to go to the, you know what? I'll go to the store. Billy, you were just there. They're out of beer at the store? Wow, that's weird. Pandemic, what are you going to do?
At stake in this election is the survival of our nation.
That was a vignette. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Acting.
It's true. Because we're dealing with crazy people on the other side.
Ah!
They've gone totally stone cold crazy.
So crazy.
You know, you look at Hillary, she was a lot smarter than Joe.
Just look at Hillary.
But I'll tell you, there was a certain sense of sanity 4 years ago. These people have gone insane. And they're radical left, and you look at some of the things happening in these Democrat-run cities, which we could solve in 2 minutes. All they have to do is call us, right? Our great ex-congressman. All they have to do is, and thank you for being here, but all they have to do is call us. We'll be in there in 2 minutes, and we'll take care of the problem. Joe Biden is a puppet of the radical left movement that seeks to destroy the American way of life. They don't understand, and probably when it happened, they'd say, what?
Oh, hold on. Green Room, your bar, is the pub closed now? Are you still allowed to be open? They're cracking down in Ireland again. Green Room sent me a message about that, and I feel badly. How is your pub/Green Room bar doing? Are you guys still open? And I know you are severely limited.
What did we ever do? Joe Biden has pledged to hike your taxes by $4 trillion in the largest tax hike in history, and they're going to waste the money on the Green New Deal, the Green New Deal. You know what you get out of that? Nothing except debt and death. They want to eviscerate the Second Amendment.
And death? Wow. Who wants death in this country? I've had enough of that.
They want to take away your guns. They want to take away your guns. Well, you remember that, just that one point alone. And they want to take away your guns. So who's going to vote for that? I mean, we want our Second Amendment. I've held it strong, and you think it was easy? I've held it totally strong. Give free.
Has not vetoed a single bill on guns at all. Not one. Not a single one. It's 100% that Mitch.
Health care to illegal aliens. You don't get free health care. Expand deadly sanctuary cities. Force taxpayers to subsidize late-term abortion, shut down the energy fields of Pennsylvania. They want to shut them down. No fossil fuel. No fossil fuel.
No.
Texas isn't too happy either. Go to Texas. I just left Texas a little while ago. 2 weeks. I said, they don't want energy, they don't want guns, and they don't want religion. Guy stands up and says, not going to win Texas. But you have the...
No, I don't think a guy stood up and said that. He said that. He was the guy standing up. This guy, that guy, right there. He was standing up. So I'm using the internet here at the Outhouse Studio. It was 200 megabytes and then nothing. So I decided to do this on the phone. So if we do get death circles, I'll try and come back. I'll do what I can. Something weird just happened on the phone. I'm broadcasting through my phone right now, so there may be some technical glitches along the way. So far, it seems to be going pretty well, I think, except the fact that I'm obviously drunk and so is the speaker. Let's move on. Oh, wait. Green Room, what happened? Taking a hiatus in the northwest of the holiday, but no pub near me. Wait, I missed what you said, Green Room. Is your pub open or not? You've taken a hiatus? I don't know. Everyone's drunk today.
Same thing, because you're a big fracking state.
Pennsylvania's a big fracking state.
See your taxes go up, stop fracking. Doesn't hurt you at all, fracking. They want to throw up windmills that are going to ruin your houses. I mean, put up a big windmill. You walk out your door, you see this big monster churning. But even that they don't want to do. I don't think they want to do anything. I think they want to close your businesses. But just remember, Second Amendment, they're going to take it away.
That's what the Democrats, the majority of the population in America, wants to just close all the businesses.
As sure as you're sitting or standing, they're going to take it away from you. The Second Amendment. Don't let it happen. Close down charter schools, eliminate school choice, so important.
Oh, no, all the pubs are closed, so that would include the Green Room bar, too. I think Green Room might have been imbibing tonight. It's late there, so...
Abolish the suburbs. They want to put low-income housing in the suburbs. So the American...
Yeah, putting low-income housing in the suburbs isn't abolishing the suburbs. We've talked about this before. All it is saying, hey, how about having some areas of higher density in the suburbs? Because otherwise, if you live in a nice suburb, your cops, your teachers, your guy who works at the subway, everybody can't afford to have housing, and then they have to commute from farther away, and that's bad for the environment. And frankly, it's bad for the community.
American dream. And by the way, we have a lot of minority groups that live in the suburbs. African American, Asian American. Put low-income...
What's a suburb?
Housing in the suburbs. So the American dream. And by the way, we have a lot of minority groups that live in the suburbs. African American, Asian American.
Hold on. 618.
American, Hispanic American, all did phenomenally last year with jobs. Best jobs we've ever.
There's one minority in the crowd. Listen carefully.
Groups that live in the suburbs. African American, Asian American, Hispanic American, all did phenomenally last year with jobs. Best jobs we've ever had in the history of our country. Best economy we've ever had. But they're a big part of the suburbs, and they want to put low-income housing in the suburbs at a level that they've never done it before. And it's been this has been going on for 20 years. I terminated the regulation that did that. They said, well, we can change it. I said, no, let's terminate it. People have to aspire to go there. They want to aspire to live in the suburbs. They want to abolish cash bail, releasing 400,000 criminals onto our streets. Think of no more cash bail. Look at what happened in New York.
The whole thing about cash bail and releasing criminals onto the street, we're innocent until proven guilty in this country. But yeah, okay.
Cuomo ended cash bail. Cuomo, that wasn't.
By the way, that's not okay.
Even de Blasio that did it. It was Cuomo, the governor. He ended it in New York. And
there's no African Americans there. There's one guy who's a big fan of Michael Jordan. So
now the crime rate has gone through the roof. The speaker at Biden's convention proudly declared, we're talking about abolishing the police, we're talking about abolishing ICE, and we're talking about abolishing prisons. And that's the only thing they're not abolishing.
Did they? I didn't watch all of the DNC, but did someone say they want to abolish the prisons?
Our taxes, because your taxes are going to go up at a level that you've never even heard of before.
Hey, Danielle.
If you want a vision of your life under Biden presidency, think of the smoldering ruins in Minneapolis.
Then think of the time that he was the vice president for 8 years and the stock market tripled and job growth started a continuous, longest period of growth that the job market's ever had that I was handed, and then I slowed down. Think of that.
The violent anarchy of Portland, the bloodstained sidewalks of Chicago, and imagine the mayhem coming to your town and every single town in America. You're not going to have law and order. Do you notice? And I shouldn't say it because I'll put it in his speech if he can read it, which I doubt. But they'll put it in there tonight. I shouldn't.
Biden can't read. He says Biden can't read. Hydroxymin chloric remdesivir.
Say it because he's going to speak later. Should have a good audience. People are going to find out what the hell's going on. I see he hasn't answered a question since they just said, I just see it on the newscast, since July 17th. Hasn't taken a question from the fake news back there. Now think of it.
Seals and sharks. Seals and sharks, oh my. I can't wait. I'm assuming that comes up later. We're delayed on this, by the way. I did not have the internets.
I take about 100 questions a day. These people. You know, it's one
He does not take 100 questions a day.
thing I've learned.
Remember, he went for almost a month and a half taking only one question session. From May, whatever, all the way through June. No questions.
The people heading these other countries, whether it's President Xi of China, Putin of Russia, Erdogan, Turkey, any of them. Kim Jong-un, North Korea. Remember, we're going to be in war with North Korea. Remember, it's going to be a war, right, Congressman? It's going to be a war. If Trump saw, oh, we're going to have a war. No, it would have been a war if you had Hillary Clinton. It would have been a war if Obama were allowed to stay any longer. He thought there was going to be a war. Where's the war? I don't see the war. Maybe.
About an 8-second leg on YouTube, guys.
Things happen.
Yeah, if you want to chat, jump on in. Best place to do it is youtube.com/KevinLeeFather. But there is about an 8-second delay today. Again, we're jumping over my phone on this. We're not using the landline internet. So things might be a little bit wacky.
It's happened. You don't know. But there's been no war. Nobody killed. You would have lost 25, 30 million people. They don't say that. They say 100,000 people. No. Seoul has 32 million people, and it's right next to the cannon.
No, Seoul has 9 million people. Okay, let's say 10. Let's just round up. Seoul doesn't have 30 million people.
Fire. And we have a good relationship.
South Korea has about 61 million people altogether. Seoul, 9. Remember, he wanted to move Seoul. He thought, hey, could we just... Seoul's 30 kilometers from the border. He doesn't know what kilometers are. Why don't we just move the city?
With him. I have a good relationship with him. You know, when I say that, isn't that terrible, they say. No, it's not terrible. It's great. It's great. I have a relationship.
No, this hotspot's Verizon, and I'm actually really impressed with it.
President Obama said when I sat down, that first meeting, right, in the White House.
Yeah.
He said it was the biggest problem we had, North Korea.
Yeah.
And he would have had a big problem. It would have been a hell of a war, I'll tell you right now. You'd probably be in that war right now. So.
And now they have solid fuel, which means that they can send a nuke our way. We know they have nukes. We know now because they've been testing ballistic missiles, which you don't understand what a ballistic missile is. So very quickly, very easily. And yes, okay, go. Just so I'll let those of you with an engineering background, you can send me a DM at Real Donald Trump Jr. But there's basically two types of missiles. There's ballistic that go up high, and then come down and strike. The other type is a cruise missile, which goes up and then cruises along, just like this, like a Jetsons car. Those are the two types of missiles. He thinks it's just short range and long range. And I'm sure he doesn't understand what an ICBM is. Anyway, he keeps saying that there's been no ballistic. Remember, he was for a long time. It was there's no tests. They're not doing any. And then they started doing tests. And then it was they're not testing ballistic missiles. They are. And now they have solid fuel, which means Solid fuel is just much more highly condensed fuel. Again, engineering background, you can send it to @RealDonaldTrump Jr. It's so much more compressed that you can burn much more energy or use much more energy in the missile, and it goes much, much longer. So solid fuel, the Koreans have it now, the North Koreans. Anyway, we're all dead.
I say that we got along.
I'm looking at you, Seattle.
And we've met. Everyone says, oh, that's so terrible. No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Doesn't mean bad things don't happen, but it's a good thing. There's only one thing standing between your family and the radical left-wing.
Remember, he spelled missile wrong.
Mob.
Incorrectly. Where was that? God, it was the first summit? Doesn't that seem like 20 years ago now? Remember that when Kim Jong-un showed up and he had an entourage? I even made a video. You guys have probably not seen that. I don't know if I can find that, but I'll see if I can find that. Yeah, I'll find that, and you guys watch this.
And that's your vote this November. This is
I can't even play it because we're broadcasting on YouTube, and I'll get another copyright strike. Remember a couple days ago, for those of you who are just joining us, a couple days ago I played a song by Bear's Den called Berlin. It's a beautiful, haunting story of, I believe, a memorial service. His grandmother or his mother passed away. Whatever it is, it's a beautiful song. I got a copyright strike for playing like half a stanza. Anyway, moving on.
Very important. I feel like I'm a wall. You know, we built the wall on the southern border. Left-wing mob, and that's your vote this November. This is a very important. I feel like I'm a wall. You know, we built the wall on the southern border. We're going to have 300 miles by 2 weeks from now.
Does anybody understand what the fuck he's saying? But he feels like he's a wall?
November. This is a good thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a wall. You know, we built the wall on the southern border.
I feel like I'm a wall between us and freedom? Like, what is he saying?
Wing mob, and that's your vote this November. This is a very important. I feel like I'm a wall. You know, we built the wall on the southern border. We're going to have 300 miles by 2 weeks from now, even less, 300 miles. And by the end of the year, we'll be up to almost 500.
I don't know. I do not. I usually am pretty good with the translation. He's the walrus. I am the walpuss. Cuckoo-ca-choo.
Miles, and then we're going to go on a little bit further. Some areas that are loose, a little bit loose, we found out. We're going to put a little bit more, about 536 miles, going up at a record clip. It's doing phenomenally well. If you want mobs and criminals, you got to vote Democrat. Look, because that's what it's about. They don't talk about law and order.
What? You got to vote Democrat?
If you want mobs and criminals, you got to vote Democrat.
Okay.
Look, because that's what it's about. They don't talk about law and order. Now, I'm bringing it up now, but I haven't seen anybody get up. I got just the other day endorsed by all the sheriffs of Florida, all the law enforcement. I got endorsed by Pennsylvania. I got endorsed by Texas, by Ohio. I mean, I think everybody. I don't know. How can you endorse somebody else? How can law enforcement endorse somebody else? We gave
question.
all of our.
This stupid defund the police movement. This might be what wins the election for Trump. So, great job, people who don't want the police around.
All of our ex-Army equipment, you know, we have tremendous surplus equipment. And it was sitting in warehouses all over the United States. Hundreds of millions of dollars, I distributed it to the police. Whereas Biden and Obama, they didn't want to do that because they said, no, it makes the police look too strong. I want the police to look strong. They've got to look strong. And a lot of it was protective equipment. If you want jobs and you want...
It wasn't protective equipment, by the way. That went through. That's fine.
You want a lot of police and you want a lack of crime. You know, if you take away New York and Chicago and some of these terrible cities that you see about, you know, with the crime is so bad. I left New York 4 years ago. And I could see, because he's a terrible mayor, I could see there were things that were happening that were bad. He's no Rudy Giuliani, I can tell you that.
Who?
But I could see things were happening. But the last 6 months, because he's a terrible mayor, I could see there were things that were happening that were bad. He's no Rudy Giuliani, I can tell you that.
Rudy Giuliani?
But I could see things were happening.
Is that when Rudy was all dressed in drag? Is that what they call him? Raggedy Giuliani.
But the last 6 months, 7 months, it just exploded. It's incredible. Crime up 368%. 368%. It's crazy. It's crazy. But if you want law and order, and I can say it, sometimes they'll say, sir, say it gently. People want to hear gently. They want, say it gently. Don't say law and order. Say, if you'd like,
what?
Law and order and safety.
What?
No, I can't do that. If you want law and order, you got to have law.
Who told him to say law and order gently? Nobody said that. That's who.
Law and order. You can't have what's happening in Portland. Did you see the kid get whacked the other day? Just whacked like he was a piece of garbage?
What?
I mean, who could take it? We don't want that. And
getting whacked is getting killed. That's mafia speak. What the hell?
Pretty soon we're going to have to send in our people because, we're supposed to wait till request. Now, I don't know if they're embarrassed or what, but these Democrat cities, they're out of control. They have none. Look at Seattle, where she said, no, we want a summer of love. I mean, this woman is crazy. And they would have never taken back Seattle, except they knew we were going in the next day. That's the only reason they even did it. So tonight, we have Slow Joe will speak at the Democrat convention.
Slow Joe. Okay, that kind of almost works. Slow Joe. Yeah.
I'm sure that he'll just...
Do you see what's going on outside? We're gonna watch Slow Joe.
Knock him dead. And he'll remind us that he was born in Scranton. But he left like 70 years ago, right? He left.
He gave up on Scranton. He just moved away because his parents moved when he was 10. He deserted Scranton.
A long time ago. He wasn't born. I view it differently. He'd say
What?
he was born, but he left like 70 years ago, right?
Yeah? Does he almost say he wasn't born?
He left a long time ago. He wasn't born. I view it differently.
Joe Biden wasn't born?
He'd say he was born here, but he left when he was like 8, 9, or 10.
10.
So he left.
Yeah.
68 years ago he left.
Okay.
Long time ago. So I view it differently. He wasn't born here. He abandoned Scranton. Okay? His family had something to do with that, his parents. But he left Scranton. I mean, he keeps talking.
So if you move away from somewhere, you were no longer born there. And his father was Trump's father. Whenever he was with the German crowd, he tells them that his father was born in Germany. His father was born in the Bronx. But I guess birthplace is mobile to Trump, which really explains birtherism. Wherever you want someone to be born, that's where they can be born. I'm talking to you, Kamala.
Talking about, I was born in Scranton. I lived in Scranton, for a few years, and then he left for another state. You know the state. But the Scranton stuff, that's why I figured I'd come here and explain to you one thing, but I think you people know it better than I do. He left. He abandoned Pennsylvania. He abandoned Scranton.
When he was 10. And Obama, he abandoned Kenya. You see what I did there? I said abandoned. Speaking of abandoned, did you hear about my former campaign manager? He's in jail. And I just wish that he hadn't collected all the money for the wall from Steve Bannon. You know him. You know him better than I do. I barely knew him. He worked for my campaign for a very short period of winning. And then he took all this money for the wall. And now, quite frankly, I talked to the president of Mexico. I'm going to get them their money back.
He was here for a short period of time, and he didn't even know it. And today, it's amazing. It goes around in a circle. He still doesn't know it. Okay. But
So, the thinking there, Joe Biden was senile when he was 10.
Spent the last half century in Washington selling out our country and ripping off our jobs and letting other countries steal our jobs.
Fundraising for a fake wall.
Mexico, China, all of them, just stealing our jobs. He's been there for 47 years. And now he's going to come in and make a change. I don't think so. His son walked out with $1.5 billion to manage. That's millions of dollars a year. And the son didn't even have a job before that.
Son had several jobs. So the Hunter, where's Hunter thing is just not sticking at all. I've seen a couple of polls on it, and there has no traction. Because you know what? People don't care. Oh, he went and he raised money for an investment business, and he got some money. Good for him. Who cares?
That. And I asked the Wall Street people, tell me, is that possible? Smartest people, top people on Wall Street. They say can't happen. It can't happen.
But
the smartest people, the people that do get money from every country, from everybody, they say can't happen. He walked out of there in 10 minutes with $1.5 billion. It
was several months.
You explain that one, right? And then if they want to look at him, nobody looks at him. Nobody looks at Ukraine. He gets $83,000 a month and a $3 million upfront payment because of his great expertise and energy, but he had none. And he even...
Well, because we're all waiting for Rudy Giuliani to give us all that evidence that, remember he was on, was it Cuomo? Where he's got all this evidence. Rudy's got all his evidence in his hands. Well, I can't release it now. I release it in 2 months. All the evidence is going to come. Huh? That's my Rudy. In 2 months, I'll give you all the evidence. It's going to take writing down. It's unheard of. Ukraine. That's both my Rudy and my Alex Jones with dentures. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Acting. Thank you.
He admitted, no, I don't know anything about energy. But he goes onto an energy company, gets millions of dollars, 83. It's actually
hello, Ruthie Giuliani.
Actually double that. Because
you missed it. There was a Giuliani thing earlier.
Because it was him and some guy that knew less than he did. And is that okay? Yeah. Is it okay when Joe Biden goes and says, $1 billion, you're not getting it unless you get rid of those prosecutors?
Yep.
You talk about...
As ordered by the President of the United States, yep.
About quid pro quo, right? That's your quid pro quo. Mm-hmm. And they did.
As agreed to by 183 countries in the IMF. Yep. It's not 183, quid I'm just saying that.
Pro quo, right? And they did. They got rid of the prosecutors, and then he's called. He says, now you're getting your money. Okay? Figure this.
It wasn't money. It wasn't American money. America was going to give a loan guarantee on the money, but the money was from the IMF.
How about if that's a Republican doing that, what happens to that Republican? It's over.
They get a Medal of Freedom for doing their job?
Over. It's a disgrace.
How?
But it's changing slowly, too slowly as far as I'm concerned. Joe Biden is no friend of Pennsylvania. He's actually, for the reasons we just said, he's your worst nightmare. Biden supported every single globalist attack on Pennsylvania workers. NAFTA, China's entry into the World Trade Organization, which built China into a power. TPP.
I thought it was South China.
Korea. The horrible, ridiculous Paris Climate Accord, which stripped our nation of its energy.
It did not. It actually never went into effect, but okay.
And the so-called Clean Power Plan. The only good thing about it was the name. It was a horrible, unfair deal. Horrible for you and horrible for Pennsylvania. They want to take your power away. You know what your power is? Your power is the billions of dollars you make on going deep into the earth and taking out what you have to take out. Everything you want from fracking. You don't realize how big a fracking state. Does anybody know how big fracking is? You're not going to be allowed to frack anymore. You're not going to be allowed, no oil, no nothing, no oil, no gas, no nothing. Just think of that. What would happen?
Okay. Oh, is this the side of the crowd? No, that's the front of the crowd, but people have their chairs aimed. I am not seeing a whole lot of masks, but a lot of red hats. Red hats will also protect you from 5G.
Happen is well, first of all, many of you, I guess 600,000, 670,000 lose their jobs. No money, no oil, higher taxes. Your stock market would crash. If they get in beyond fracking, if they get in, you'll have your 401ks, which are setting records. By the way, stock market just hit a new high. And don't forget, we've been going through this horrible plague from China. It just hit a new high. So think of that. It's incredible. But your 401ks, how many people have 401ks here? Good? That's a lot. That's a lot. How about if they went down?
S&P 500 did. Dow Jones Industrial Average has not returned to its high yet.
To like 10% of what they are now, because that can happen. That can happen. And it will happen if we're stupid and we don't go out and vote. And secure your ballot. Absentee ballots are good. But the stuff where they take millions and millions of ballots and send them all over the place, we'll grab it and we'll just put them in a big pile there. Everyone grab it. It's a disgrace. Even common sense
that literally does not exist.
Tells you that. Look at New York. Look at what happened in New Jersey. Look at what happened in Virginia. Look at what happened. I won't go through the details. You know the story. They have no control whatsoever. In New Jersey, 20% of the ballots were defective, fraudulent, 20%. And that's because they did a good job, okay? So
Yeah, that's because a guy tried to cheat. Actually, there was a group of guys who tried to cheat, and they thought they were smart, and they got caught because it's really easy to catch people committing fraud with absentee ballots.
This is just a way they're trying to steal the election, and everybody knows that, because the only way they're going to win is by a rigged election. I really believe that. I saw the crowd outside. For every sign we had for Trump Pence, every single sign. I mean, you know.
Oh, hold on. There's a mask, but he's wearing it like halfway down his mouth. So, wow. And look at all these people. They are all in an age range that do not... some of them might have some underlying conditions as well. Yeah, wow.
Not that atypical in Texas. We had people on the highways, on the roadways. We're driving to some oil well where we gave a speech. But it was a 20-minute drive between the plane and that oil well. There were tens of thousands of people, and they had the signs, Trump and Trump Pence and flags, American flags. You know, when the other side does show up, which is rarely, they never have an American flag. I can always tell if there's a group of people. You never see an American flag. The fake news would tell you that. But you never see, but they don't put it down. They'll tell you that personally, but they won't write it. But you never see an American flag. It's an amazing thing. But if you look outside today, is it 100 to 1, 200 to 1? And then you'll read tomorrow that Biden was well represented. He wasn't well. There were hardly anybody there. Every once in a while, I'd see a Biden.
There were hardly anyone there?
Is it 100 to 1, 200 to 1? And then you'll read tomorrow that Biden was well represented. He wasn't well. There were hardly anybody there. Every once in
There were hardly anybody there. Hold on. Hold on. The children isn't in school. What could what could mean? What could mean? What could mean? There were hardly 1951. Okay, go ahead, kids. Go on without me.
So I'd see a Biden. I'd be waving to the people. I'd see a Biden. I'd say, well, I'd wave to her anyway. Who cares? No, but was it 100 to 1? I mean, it's just massive. And you'll read tomorrow that he had a massive crowd also.
What do now?
Pennsylvania lost more than 1 in 3 manufacturing jobs after NAFTA and China's entry into the WTO. And that was a vote and courtesy of Sleepy Joe. Biden looked American labor into the eyes. It took their dues, their union endorsements, and their votes. The unions, I mean, the unions have to be more reasonable. They have to be more reasonable, and we love the unions. We love non-union. I've had it all.
Where are you going?
You know, every building I built in New York was with unions, and unions are fine. You know, a lot of Republicans don't want me to say that, but I'll tell you, unions are fine. Tell them to keep their dues down, please. But they're fine. And you have unions here, you have non-unions. But what I talk about is the worker. They treated our workers horribly. We lost our jobs to foreign lands.
Oh, hey, producer Debbie.
Our workers got fired, whether they were in the unions or not. Then he sold out and he passed the Cadillac tax, you know what that is, on union health care plans, attacked their energy jobs, and sent their factories to China. And now he's back begging for their votes. And, you know, people, it's like a custom. Democrats, except with me. I came in, I got so many union votes. I get far more. I mean, you've seen it.
I don't know where he started this. Now we're talking about...
A couple of people either lost their job or came very close that were unbeatable because they led a charge for the Democrats, for Crooked Hillary last time. They led a charge. And the people in the union didn't want that. They didn't want Hillary, they wanted Trump. And we had union revolts, we call them. They revolted. But these guys right here, are you all union people? I can tell. Are you union? It's good, right? It's fine. That's fine. Look at that. You get a hand. Certain parts of the country, they wouldn't be as happy, but that's okay, right? And it's great. But they were not happy. And you know what was happening? They were not happy when the bosses got endorsed by the Democrats. American labor will vote for Trump-Pence in 2020. They're all saying that. And
part of me wants to go back and say, where did that whole string start that ended up with the "you guys are labor"? I don't care. I don't care. Oh my God. He goes on for another 40 minutes. I can't. I need more child blood.
This area is going to be an incredible area. This used to be all Democrat until I came along. Until I came along, this was Democrat. This was heavily union. It was Democrat. It was everything, but they like Trump. And I'm going to never let you down. And they will let you down. They will let you down. First of all, the country will be let down because the country, you will see a crash like you've never seen before. And as good as those stock market numbers are, there's a headwind.
Worse than the 33% loss of GDP we just had under you because you didn't test anybody in February? Worse than that?
The headwind is that if he won, the market's going to crash. The Green New Deal, all of the different things, socialized medicine, that's what they want. It's socialized.
If there was any truth to that whatsoever, that there's a headwind and the market is like, oh no, what if Biden gets elected? They would be hedging their bets right now. The S&P wouldn't be at an all-time high. The market would not have come back because they might, better hold off because we don't want to be buying right now because the market will crash because Joe Biden has a 50% chance of getting elected. See, it's not the way it works at all. Nothing he says make any sense. Oh, there were hardly anyone there. The children isn't in school.
Medicine. No doctor, no plan. Obama lied about it 28 times. Remember he said you can keep your doctor, you can keep your plan. It wasn't true. 28 different times they have him. For the last 4 years, we've been reversing Biden's betrayals and delivering historic wins for the people of Pennsylvania. Your state lost over 50,000 manufacturing jobs when Biden was vice president. In my first 3 years, Pennsylvania gained 14,000 jobs, manufacturing, and going up at a level that nobody's ever seen before. We'll catch all of those jobs that were lost. They said manufacturing jobs will never come back. Remember, you need a magic wand. Where's the magic wand? Well, we have the magic wand. My first week in office, I withdrew from...
You guys see all those masks?
...the Trans-Pacific Partnership. It would have been totally destructive to your jobs. It would have been a horror show. I withdrew from the one-sided Paris Climate Accord, which would have cost us so many billions of dollars, and all it would have done is made the competition even tougher all over the world. I believe it was designed to hurt the United States and to get jobs away from us and companies. I stood up to China's rampant cheating, plunder, and theft. I repealed that horrible tax. So many taxes. How many taxes did I repeal? You know, I'm getting a list of them now. I'll have it for you for the next meeting because I'll be back to Pennsylvania. That I promise.
Is he going to tell us what horrible tax he's talking about?
And I'm standing up to the special interests and the big pharma. Weeks ago, I signed 4 historic directives.
I hate the big farmers.
To dramatically reduce the cost of prescription drugs. Think of it. You know what I did? I signed, as you know, and as you've seen, I guess, but other countries have sometimes 10% of what we pay for the same exact pill, same drug, same prescription drug. And I signed a deal that we get. It's not signed by the drug companies. They hate it. They're taking advertising. Whenever you see bad ads on me from drug companies, just remember one thing. That means your prices are coming down. That means your prices. But it's called favored nations, favored nations. We were the least favored nation in the whole world. We paid the highest price. So I signed, if Germany, as an example, pays 10 cents for a pill.
And we pay $2 or $2.50.
And we pay $3 for the exact
$3.
same pill.
It's gone up now. It was $2, and then yesterday it was $2.50. Now it's $3, and we pay $178 for the same pill. That's not right. That's not fair.
We pay 10 cents also. Now, what means is they're going to go up. We're going to come way down. We could drop drug prices by
50, 60, 70%?
50, 60, or 70% at a level that has made them very angry. And rebates, too.
That's a level of 90, almost 98%, but okay.
Rebates go to you. Nobody else would have done that. They could have done that a long time ago. Biden could have done it. He didn't know what it meant, but I will tell you.
The rebates are incentives from the drug companies to the middlemen to produce the doctors, to pharmacies. They don't go to the end customer.
Most people do know what, but they can't do it because Big Pharma is the most powerful group. And I guess they say number one. Is it number one, Mr. Cut? But you didn't take any
It is.
money from Big Pharma, right? Good. I'll bet you didn't. I'll bet you didn't, my man. I ended the NAFTA disaster, and I signed USMCA into law. USMCA is phenomenal. And it's going to keep your companies from moving to Mexico and other places. After years
Canada.
of building up other nations, we're finally building up our nation.
Linda.
And we are finally doing something that I've been talking about for years. We are finally putting America first, and I've done that right from the beginning. We're honored to be joined today by...
Okay, several masks, depending on where you are in the crowd. One guy's got it hanging off his ear. There's a young guy back there who's just got it hanging on his chin. And they could actually be 6 feet apart. It's hard to tell on camera. It just depends on the lens.
Some incredible warriors that were really fantastic to me and friends of mine, but they really fight. These Pennsylvania people are fighters, in case you haven't noticed.
Oh my God, guys, we're not even halfway there.
Representative Scott Perry. Scott, where's Scott? Thank you, Scott. Great job, Scott. The Warriors. Lloyd Smucker. Lloyd, thank you. Thank you, Lloyd. John Joyce. John, thank you. Great job. Great job. And a friend of mine and a great, great man. He would have been here forever if he decided to, but he decided maybe it was time to do something else. But this was a fighter like no other fighter. And those three other gentlemen will attest, right? Our friend Lou Barletta. Lou. And they're shouting, I'm saying this for the media, they're shouting, Lou. They're not booing. You know, they'll say, he stood up and he got booed horribly. It was a horrible, embarrassing. No, that's what they do. They're fake.
It was a horrible, embarrassing.
Thanks also to our congressional candidates, Jim Bognet. Jim? Oh, look at him. I've heard good things, Jim. Is it easy out there on the stump? Oh, good, good. And you're going to win, Jim. You're going to win. And Lisa Scheller. Lisa, thank you very much.
All right, come on.
Bernie Comfort.
Lisa has no mask.
Where are you?
Come on.
I sound a little bit older than I feel. I feel young. State GOP Chairman.
It is. Thank you, Marcy.
Lawrence Tabus. About 2 cents, and he ended up being a rich man.
Go.
And he employed a lot of people, and he was a real friend of mine. He didn't like many people. And he'd look at him, he'd say, I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to talk to Trump. I like that kind of a guy. Right? But he was a fantastic man, actually. He was a good man. Before the China virus invaded our shores, we built the greatest economy in history. Nothing even close. We added 7 million jobs nationwide, including 209,000 new jobs in Pennsylvania. By the way, in the last 3 months, we
bye,
right,
Debbie.
Bernie? Over 9 million jobs, an all-time record. This is now during and hopefully closing moments of the pandemic.
What?
You notice how anytime there's a good country, they like to compare.
Is it? Did he just say that they've added 9 million jobs and that's a record in the first term? Is that a thing? Does somebody want to look that up?
Because we've done an incredible job. You look at our mortality rates, you look at all the things, but they like to compare us to others, so they were talking about New Zealand. New Zealand, it's over. It's over for New Zealand. Everything's gone. They're beautiful. They had a massive breakout yesterday. South Korea, it's over. It's over.
They had 9 2 days ago. Let's hold on. I'll pull things up, and I'll let Trump go. Hold on.
Big breakout yesterday. You know, it's a tough deal. We've done a great job. We're a big country, and you know, maybe this is popular to say. Maybe it's not. I don't care, because based on the crowd outside, it looks to me like we're going to win this state. But I think by a lot. But your governor has you in a...
Okay, so South Korea did have a death yesterday. That's 2 days in a row with a death. We had... Hold on. I'm thinking we're 6.6 times the size of South Korea, so we should have had 6 to 7 deaths. We had 890... Oh, hold on. That's today. Yesterday we had 1,260 deaths, which is 1 times 6.6 is close to 1,260. I think that's right. I'm not good with the maths. New Zealand, you ask. You will ask because you're probably about 3 minutes behind me at that point. New Zealand yesterday. Oh my God. I'm glad I didn't move there. They had 6 new cases yesterday. 6. Just out of curiosity, let's see how many new cases we had. 45,000. Oh, hold on. No, that is yesterday. That is accurate. Yesterday. Let me just see what New Zealand has done today so far, which is tomorrow New Zealand time. 5 new cases today in New Zealand. So over the last 2 days, they've doubled because they were 6, and that's almost doubling. That's how math works. But anyway, yeah, no, it's the same. They're the same as us.
Shut down, what's going on?
What?
How did they all get out there? And they were not socially distanced, I can tell you. We'll have to, on the way back, they'll still be there because they're incredible people. But what is he doing? He's got you in a shutdown still. Shutdown wolf. He can't do this. He's going to destroy your soul. You know what happens?
Australia yesterday, 204, or tomorrow, or Christmas. I think every day is Christmas in Australia. Christmas, where everything alive is trying to kill everything else that's alive. That's Australia. 243 new cases, 13 new deaths in Australia. They now have a total cases per 1 million population in Australia of 949, and we are at 17,329 per million. So 939 versus 17,000 plus.
Is depression.
So pretty much the same.
Anxiety, problems with family members,
what?
Drugs, heart attacks, obesity. I mean, what is he doing? It's more dangerous than the virus. He's got to open the state up.
No.
You know when he's going to open it up? No, I know what he's doing because a lot of them are doing.
Here's the thing about opening up the schools. Oh, you close the schools and they're going to use drugs and more kids die in schools from shooting every year than will commit suicide if the schools don't open. Literally saving lives by not sending our kids to public school. I don't know if that's true, but the judges just said that it was. It might be. And in today's America, that's all that counts. Does it feel truthy?
Doing it in the great state of North Carolina, right? They're doing it in North Carolina, but they're doing it in a lot of different areas. But they've got to open this state up. And
North Carolina did open up its schools, some of them, and Chapel Hill closed after 6 days because they tripled their positivity rate at University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
You have to do it, right? This wonderful...
Shannon Engel doing some fact checking. New Zealand has 6 deaths per million, USA 535 deaths per million, and Canada half that at 240 deaths per metric ton.
Incredible Commonwealth, right? I would call it a commonwealth. Do you ever mind if they call it a state? No. Call it commonwealth. Whatever the hell, you want to open it up. And what is he doing? What is he doing? It's very... So the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we're going to get it open, and 31. I know when he's going to do it. You know,
we're halfway there. We did it. We reached the halfway mark. Would you guys mind if I had a pillow right here?
You know when it is? November 4th. November 4th, he's going to say, well, we're going to open it up. Then your results are no better than other states, by the way. It's not like, oh, gee, this is great. It's Michigan has it closed down. And North Carolina has it closed down. And this Commonwealth has it closed down. It's really, it's a very sad thing to see. And the results are not good. The results, it's not like, oh, this is wonderful. The results in some of these places are worse than those that are open. And, you know, you have other states up. I mean, you look at the country, it's really, we have states with thriving. And there's no shutdown. It's enough. We shut it down because we had to. We didn't know anything about what was happening. We shut it down. We learned a lot. Protect our seniors, et cetera, et cetera. You've all heard it. But we learned a lot. Then we opened it up, and now we have a big V. Remember they said the V will never happen? We have a big, beautiful V. We enacted the largest financial relief package in American history. And through the Paycheck Protection Program, we saved nearly 2 million Pennsylvania jobs.
Okay, so shutdown versus not shutdown. Just to give you an idea of Republican versus Democrat states, the AP publishes a list of states by positivity. And I just pulled it up. And for some reason, Washington is number one. It's a very Democratic state with a positivity rate of 100%. So I'm thinking that might be a data error on that one. Next in line, Mississippi, 27.4% in Mississippi. That's Republican. Nevada, actually Democratic governor, 17.2. Idaho, Republican, 16. Florida, 16. Kansas, 13. Wait, Kansas, they have a Democratic governor now, so hard to say on that one. Texas, Republican. Georgia, Republican. Missouri, Republican. North Dakota, Republican. Hawaii is Democratic. Iowa, Republican. South Dakota, Republican. Next in line, let me refresh the page. Wyoming, Republican. Arizona, Republican. Nebraska, Republican. Indiana, Republican. Utah, Republican. Wisconsin, do they still have a Republican governor in Wisconsin? I honestly don't know. They had Scott for a while, and I think he went away, but I don't know who replaced him. Alabama, Oklahoma, Kentucky is now Democratic. So what was that? Like 17 or 21 of the top 25 states Republicans in terms of positivity rate. Let's take Washington out of the equation because nobody has 100% positivity. That's a typo error somewhere.
We've also delivered nearly, that's right, 2 million jobs. We delivered nearly $11 billion in direct.
We have a super V. If anybody can figure out what a super V is besides a venereal disease, let me know.
Support to Pennsylvania families.
Oh God, as long as it's a MyPillow. Stop it, Shannon. You're banned.
And over the past 3 months, we've gained over 9 million jobs.
I said this the other day. I'm as much trouble as we're in right now, all the people dying and we're out of work and all that other stuff, at least we're not the guy in the future who is working at a school book textbook company and they're like, okay, you have to write the paragraph explaining how the pillow guy got the president to endorse a poison plant to cure the pandemic that slaughtered 180,000 Americans in 6 months. That's your job. How do you even? Okay, there was a pillow guy in 2020. There was a. I don't know how to get him back. Hold on. Oh, now I've silenced him as well. Oh, this is much better. Good
We're
night.
opening up.
Somebody said good night to me. Who said good night to me? Green room. Have some good sleeps. Have all the sleeps.
Frankly, the Democrats should do it. They should do what's right.
The Super V, Stormy's V. I heard about that. That happened in Thailand.
For the country, they know they should open. Wolf knows he should open.
Wolf.
He knows that.
Wolf?
And how about his person with her mother, right? With her mother.
What?
Where the mother was protected, but the other people weren't. You had a massive.
Does anybody know what he's talking about? He started with Tom Wolf, the governor in Pennsylvania, and now he's talking about the person and her mother. Does anybody know where he's going?
Number of deaths in nursing homes, but 95-year-old mother, as I read, and I said, well, that person will be gone very quickly, and that person is still there. I would say that's something that if somebody ever wants to run for the governor of Pennsylvania, that would be something good to use. So they took the mother out of harm's way and then moved her back when everything was okay.
Okay.
And nobody says anything about that? And there's no firing? Retail spending is now at an all-time high.
I don't know what he's talking about, but he's wrong.
Who would have believed that? Auto production
Retail spending is not on an all-time high. That's complete nonsense.
has gained 28%.
Online spending might be, but no, retail spending is not at an all-time high.
Biden would terminate this unprecedented recovery.
So someone can look that up. It would be on census.gov, and
He wants to impose
don't even bother looking it up because it's not true.
a permanent lockdown combined with a socialist takeover of the U.S. economy. Did you hear him the other day? Lock it down.
Oh,
He wants to lock it down. So everything that we've gained over the last number of months, he wants to lock it down. No, we're doing good. Florida's going down substantially. Arizona done a great job in Arizona. Texas going down. California's going down. They'd open these states up. And everybody wants to practice good hygiene, all of the different things. Do the masks. I mean, it's not going to hurt. Do them. Do them. If you feel it, do them. But these places have to be opened up. But November 4th, you'll open. Don't worry about it. But that's a long time from now, if you think about it, right? That's a long time from now. In Biden's policy manifesto, written with socialist Bernie Sanders, Biden pledges to quickly outlaw American oil. He's going to outlaw American oil.
that's not true. So I'm just reading Daniel Dale's updates on the speech here. He's a fact checker for CNN, formerly with the Toronto Star. And it doesn't end. This speech never ends. We're just on a continuous loop. He's still there. And at some point, he's going to start talking about sharks, apparently.
Coal, American coal, he's going to outlaw it. Natural gas, which is really an amazing form of energy. It's clean. By mandating net zero carbon emissions from all homes and buildings within 9 years and from all power plants by 2035. So he wants to basically get rid of all fossil fuels. And I know everything about energy. I know so much about energy. Our new forms of alternative energy just aren't powerful enough to power these massive plants and all of the things that are creating all of these jobs and all of this wealth for your state and for the country. This week in California, there were rolling blackouts because the radical Democrats have mandated impossible restrictions on energy production. And I see again the forest fires are starting. They're starting again in California. I said, you got to clean your floors, you got to clean your forests. They have many, many years of leaves and broken trees. And they're like so flammable. You touch them and it goes up.
Broken trees. Well, yeah, nature.
I've been telling them this now for 3 years, but they don't want to listen. The environment. But they have massive fires again in California. Maybe we're just going to have to make them pay for it because they don't listen to us. We say you got to get rid of the leaves, you got to get rid of the debris, you got to get rid of the fallen trees. When a tree falls,
and becomes a nurse log, right? And then the forest feeds off of that, and the animals will eat the fuel for the organic mat.
13
I learned about this stuff when I was, I don't know, 7?
to 14 months, it becomes extremely.
Yeah, by the way, the fire right over here, if I look out my window, I can't see it because there's a house in the way. But right over there, here, you guys look. Turn around and look behind you. Like about, let's say, 4 o'clock. I don't know if that's 4 o'clock. Wait, this is 12 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, turn around and look at 7 o'clock, and you'll see if this is a three-dimensional camera, you'll see that Angeles National Forest is having a fire. It's a federal forest. I honestly don't know if it's a federal forest because I just think if it's called the National Forest, it's probably a federal forest. I don't know if it actually works that way in terms of the nomenclature. The judges have used the bike bill. So yes, that is the way it works. It has been decreed.
Dry.
Stephanie, you worked in Yosemite?
You look at some of these fires, they don't really catch where the trees are growing because they're wet. The water's pouring up the tree. And they just don't want to listen.
That's the water cycle. The water pours up the tree.
They mocked us when I said that. You got to clean your floors.
You said rake the floors.
Just an expression. Clean the floors.
Was not the expression you used. You used the word rake the floors.
And they have many, many years, decades of leaves, dry leaves, and everything.
By the way, that is a thing. To rake your floors, there are actually large machines that they call raking machines that go in and clear away the brush, etc., etc. So yes, everyone made fun of Trump on that one. However, that's not what he meant. There are forest raking machines. He thinks, though, it's literally cleaning the forest for it. That's what he thinks it is.
I mean, that's why they have it. There are other places, forest cities. They're forests. They were developed in forests, and they don't have any problem with more flammable trees than you have in California, but they just don't want to do it.
Okay, I don't know what the hell he's talking about here. Forest cities with more flammable trees than they have in California?
Senior citizens were...
Do they have lightning there?
Forced to sit in their homes with no air conditioning in the middle of the summer. And Biden...
For 1 hour. Yeah, so the way that California, nobody cares.
Wants to eliminate power plants all across America. You had a problem over here. But think of that, if they do that. You get used to no air conditioning. They probably don't want that either. Under my administration, we ended the war on American energy, and I put the miners back to work. We put them back to work. The miners are back to work.
He's talking about child labor. How dare he? But yeah, Ivanka needs clothing lines.
Work now. I approved the Keystone XL and the Dakota Access pipelines almost right at the beginning. I just approved them.
I was thinking that, like, this year we can't go on our August vacation out. You want to go to a hotel. There's always questions, is it safe? Is it not? Well, probably, but do you want to take chances? And I'm like, hey, everyone, let's go camping. Right there. 2 o'clock.
At the beginning. And a lot of jobs. And it's, by the way, it's cleaner. It's a much cleaner form of transportation.
What?
America is now the #1 producer of oil and natural gas in the world. Think of that one.
Uh-huh.
To protect our great steel workers. Do you have a couple of steady steel workers here, by the way? To protect our great steel workers, I placed tariffs on nations that were dumping cheap foreign steel all over the place. And we have created an incredible industry out of nothing. It was ready to go out. Within months, steel imports dropped by 26%, and American steel production surged by 18 million tons almost immediately. Biden abandoned the steel industry and saved other industries that were worthless, but he didn't save the steel industry. We saved the steel industry. You wouldn't have a...
So Biden abandoned steel and saved other industries that were worthless? What industries do we have exactly that are worthless that Biden saved, I wonder? I would like to see the paperwork on that.
Steel industry right now. When Joe Biden was vice president, the border was an open pipeline for criminals, gang members, and cartels, flooding our schools with drugs. Under my administration, we ended the catch and release, horrible catch and release. You catch the criminal, you take their name, you say, is this right? We don't have identification. Oh, that's okay. It's like voting. They don't want to have voter ID. Why? There's only one reason the Democrats don't want voter ID. You have ID for almost everything. You have your picture, everything nice, but not on a vote. Most important thing you can do is to vote. And voter ID, but they don't want it. There's only one reason they don't want voter ID, and you know what that is, right? That's really bad. Are you guys all in favor, by the way, of voter ID? Huh? Everybody? If they were, they wouldn't be congressmen in good standing for very long. I'll tell you that. We stopped asylum. If they were, they wouldn't be congressmen in good standing for very long. I'll tell you.
I think he said in good standing, folks. I don't.
By the way, of voter ID, everybody. If they were, they wouldn't be congressmen in good standing for very long. I'll tell you that. We stopped asylum fraud, and we deported 20,000 gang members and 423,000 criminal aliens. We got them the hell out of our country. But if Biden is elected, all of this security will quickly vanish. Control of the border will be ceded to violent cartels and the left-wing crazies who empower them. And, you know, you used to see these massive amounts of illegals coming up from Honduras, right? From Guatemala, El Salvador. They'd come up and there'd be just thousands of them. You don't see that anymore. Mexico is putting they have right now, they have for months, 27,000 of their soldiers on our southern border. You got to do it. You got to do it. Mexico's been really working with us very well, I have to tell you. The new president of Mexico, now he's not so new, he's been there a little while, but the president of Mexico has done a great job as far as I'm concerned from the standpoint of our relationship and our relationship with Mexico. In his joint manifesto with Bernie Sanders, Biden has called for a complete suspension of deportation.
Yeah, he went off somewhere with IDs. I don't know, maybe about groceries. Rich said something about forgetting his grocery ID, which you need now in California in order to buy all the kindling. He's starting things today and just going nowhere with them.
Closing down detention facilities, ending border prosecutions. Think of this. Restoring and expanding catch and release, handing out free welfare to new arrivals, work permits for illegal crossers, and mass amnesty for all illegal aliens. Can you believe this? No, this is a Bernie. This is Bernie plus. You know, I thought Biden would be taken right. This is to show you how good a negotiator is. Bernie took him left. He's supposed to start, and they're supposed to meet.
What? Why would Biden be taken right?
A little bit left of center, maybe, for them.
I can't even, I can't, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this, guys.
It's right of center. But Bernie actually took him left, along with AOC +3, right? AOC plus, it's another beauty. She's the designer of the Green New Deal. She knows nothing about the environment. She probably never studied. Ask her, how many?
I don't know. What about the Canadian aluminum tariffs? There are Canadian aluminum tariffs.
How many hours have you taken?
Or maybe there were. I don't know. With NUFTA, things have changed slightly. Like 5%.
On the environment. Biden wants to open your borders in the middle of the pandemic. Thank goodness we have that 300 miles of wall, because you would have had a problem like you never would have seen before. I want strong borders, and I want safe communities. If we don't have borders, I was saying this from day one.
There's, what is that, like 200 and some miles on a 2,000-mile border? People aren't coming because we're the worst country for getting sick. That's why.
If we don't have borders, we don't have a country. I imposed a travel ban on jihadist regions to keep terrorists out of our country. And it worked. And it got approved. And the press said he failed. And they were right. The lower court failed. Your appeals court failed, and I won at the Supreme Court. So they still say it failed because I lost at the first two courts. That's how dishonest they are. They say he lost because I lost in the first two courts, but we won at the Supreme Court. They forget to mention that fact. Joe Biden has pledged to remove this ban, opening the floodgates to terror and terror hotspots, and increasing the number of refugees allowed into our country by 700%. That's the manifesto of AOC and Bernie. Joe Biden and Kamala, she's another beauty, also strongly support the debt.
That's nice. Kamala is beautiful. Yeah. Okay. I'm with him on this one.
Sanctuary city.
What are we saying? I don't. Somebody, Bave said exactly, Kevin, but yeah, no, aluminum is cool. That's all I have to say about aluminum right now. I'm dying here, guys. Last week in Ohio, remember Trump said something about putting an aluminum tax on Canada, like a 10% tax. And then I heard that Canada was going to match that tax with different tariffs. So we started a trade war with Canada last week.
Cities that have been so
Canada's going to put a tax on like bourbon, lawn mowing equipment, stuff that's made in the States. Apparently these trucks, Canada put a tariff, 10% tariff on trucks.
Bad for you and everybody else. As district attorney in San Francisco, Kamala put a drug-dealing illegal alien into a job and jobs program.
No, he got it wrong.
Instead of into prison. 4 months later, the illegal alien robbed a 29-year-old woman, mowed her down with an SUV, fracturing her skull and ruining her life. We believe our country should be a sanctuary for law-abiding Americans, not for criminal aliens. After 8 long years...
And I'm telling you right now, Roger Stone is working to rig the election. Right now, he's cooperating with somebody he shouldn't be cooperating with. He should be in prison. But anyway, Trump got him out.
Joe Biden and Barack Obama left America weak, disrespected, and endangered. We are respected again. We are a respected country again. They said that one of the leaders called up, top leader of one of the countries, he asked me to call President Erdogan of Turkey, who I get along with very well. He said, sir, please, would you do me a favor? Call Erdogan. I said, why can't you do it? He says, you're the only one he respects. You're the only person he respects. I tell you this story. I like telling very personal stories. But they did say that. You're the only one he'll listen to.
We still have another 20 minutes left in this, guys.
I said, is that because of the United States? They said...
Hold on, even Kevin Lee Kitty can't take this anymore. Come here. Come on. Come in here and tell me all about it. I know. I've been watching it too.
No, it's because of you. So
Kevin Lee Kitty won't come anywhere near the LieStream ever since she found out that Trump grabs pussies.
You know, that's not so bad. I might as well tell you the stories because they won't. We've invested more than $2 trillion to rebuild our military. Our military's in the best. So bad. I might as well tell you the stories because they won't.
I might as well.
We've invested more than $2 trillion to rebuild our military. Our military's in the best shape it's ever been. And everything is made in the USA. And we revived the historic shipyard in a place called Philadelphia with hundreds and hundreds of new jobs. You know that. And we've just launched Space Force. I never talked about it in the campaign trail, Lou, right? I never talked about it. I'm the only one probably that ever ran for office in this country that's achieved more than I said I would. I never talked about Space Force. I never talked about it. But I realized how important it was, and we got it. The 6th branch, think of that. 6th branch, that's a big deal. American rockets are once again sending American astronauts into space. We renewed NASA. It was a field of weeds. A field of weeds. President Obama closed it down. We're now sending rockets up. And a lot of those rockets are paid by rich people. They like sending up rockets for whatever reason. They like
that program was started by Obama.
I say, go ahead. You can pay us a little rent, and you can use our property. We withdrew from the disastrous Iran nuclear deal, a horror show. The ISIS caliphate was destroyed. The founder and leader of ISIS, the animal known as al-Baghdadi, is dead. The world's #1 terrorist, Qasem Soleimani, is dead. Joe Biden voted for the war in Iraq. I kept us out of new wars. Everyone said, oh, Trump, it's his personality. He'll be in a war his first week. Instead of that, I got you out of wars. We're down to a minimum number in Iraq. Afghanistan will be down very shortly to 4,000 troops, and that'll come back shortly, too. Syria, we took them all out other than we kept the oil, if that's okay with you. We kept the oil.
We didn't keep the oil.
We have some back and keeping the oil. We should have kept the oil in Iraq, too.
That's not the way it works.
Remember, I used to say, keep the oil, don't go in.
Okay, but that's a war crime. But fine, if someone is telling him that we're keeping the oil in Syria, good. Just...
I'd say, don't go into Iraq. But I was a civilian. Nobody cared. I was like you. So nobody cares. I want to get that mosquito out of here. I don't like this. They'll say it's cruelty to animals. I don't like. No, it's true. They were saying the other night, the shark. They were saying, those sharks, we have to protect them. I said, wait a minute, wait. They actually want to remove all the seals in order to save the shark. I said, wait a minute, don't you have it the other way around? That's true. I'm not a big fan of sharks either.
I hate sharks. I'm with Trump on this one. Trump 2020.
I don't know how many votes am I going to lose. I have people calling me up, sir, we have a fund to save the shark. It's called Save the Shark. I say, no, thank you. I have other things I can contribute to.
Okay, what he's talking about here, I have no idea where he got this information, but what he's talking about here is, yes, sharks feed on seals. So this happens all around the world. If you want to get rid of the predator, if you want to get rid of the great white that might attack humans or might be stealing other parts of your harvest, you get rid of its favorite food, which is going to be your standard harbor seal. So in places where seals are protected, which is a lot of the United States, off the coastline, I believe, a lot of times communities will say, like, hey, stop protecting the seals, let us kill the seals, and then the sharks will go away because there won't be quite as many seals. But they're not trying to save the sharks, they're trying to get rid of the sharks. So, and just the man-eating sharks. So I'm assuming that's what he's talking about, because that's the only thing that comes anywhere close to making any kind of sense. But yeah, no, I am deathly afraid of sharks. I grew up in South Africa going to the anti-shark boards and watching them cutting the sharks open and seeing them pull out like full pigs, land animals from sharks, sea creatures. But yeah, that's what he's talking about. This is basically a tirade against Endangered Species Acts, which is he's gutted those as well, which we never talk about. If any other president prior to this had, if for example Bush had said, you know what, we're gonna stop protecting those bears, those grizzlies, screw them, they're just in the way. That's what Trump has done with a lot of species of bear, and well, okay, no one cares. There's so much other crap going on.
I recognize Israel's true capital, opened the American embassy in Jerusalem, and recognized Israel and its sovereignty. I recognize Israel's true capital, opened the American embassy in Jerusalem, and recognized Israel and its sovereignty over the Golan Heights. Nobody else. They talked about it for years. For years and years.
Okay, yeah, so that's what's going on in Cape Cod right now. They want more beachgoers, so they're getting rid. They have to. There's great white. The great white loves the Cape Cod area, so yeah, because there's a ton of seals. So they're trying to. There's been for 25 years, there's been a prohibition on hunting seals in Cape Cod, and so they're trying to get the right to hunt seals so they can. And the excuse they're using is it gets rid of the sharks, which the sharks would not come around quite as much if there weren't as many seals, but you'd literally have to eliminate all of the seals to get rid of the sharks. But okay. I think that's what he's talking about.
Many presidents talked about the capital of Israel, Jerusalem, and they never did it. I did it. And Golan Heights, 52 years they've been meeting on Golan Heights. I did it. Last week we reached a historic breakthrough in the Middle East, finalizing a groundbreaking agreement between Israel and
I guys, embassy moved to Jerusalem, where you have all of the Yosemites. And a lot of people talk about it. They wouldn't do it. I did it.
The United Arab Emirates. People can't even believe it. Even the New York Times gave us a great editorial. They can't even believe it. We passed Veterans Choice and Veterans Accountability for our great vets. Nobody's done for the vets what I
Obama 2014.
have. Nobody, not even close. We love the vets. And federal workers who failed and mistreated our veterans now can be told, you're fired. That's accountability. We couldn't fire them. We had sadists, we had thieves, we had some bad people. They let go of 9,000 people in the VA. They were bad people. They didn't love our vets. Now they have to love our vets. In a second term in office, we will create 10 million jobs.
Yeah, okay, I just wanted to fact check myself there. The commercial space program was started under Obama. So just FYI. There you go.
In the next year, we will hire more police. We will ban sanctuary cities. We will appoint prosecutors, judges, and justices who believe
Tried banning sanctuary cities. Supreme Court's already decided that sounds constitutional.
in the rule of law, not the rule of that horrible mob that you get to watch on television. We will provide school choice in every home. We're gonna let you have school choice. That's a very
I thought he was against homeschooling.
important thing. The Democrats don't want anything to do with school choice.
That's about religious schools.
We will lower the price of prescription drugs, as I said. We will build and expand our energy infrastructure to a level that is even greater than what we have right now. And when I said before, we're number one by a lot. Nobody thought we'd ever be number one. And we are energy independent, which is...
We're actually not. That's a strange... We're still using a lot of energy from other countries, but it's too much to go into right now. We're almost done. Like 15 minutes left.
Very nice. And as we've been doing, we will end our reliance on China and other countries for drugs and other...
Yeah, school choice, basically, everybody puts money into the general fund for public schools. Everybody has the right to go to public schools. What this would do is they would let individual families per child take that money, and instead of giving it to the public schools, give it to the private school of their choice, be that a religious school or otherwise, therefore funding a completely new public school system, essentially, rather than fixing the public school system that we already have. And of course, in many areas, especially in the low-income areas, there are no alternative schools. But let's not fix the problem. Let's create new problems. Let's take more money away from the public school system.
Other thing. We will make our critical drugs, medicines, and supplies here in the United States. We will give tax credits to companies.
That's a good idea.
To bring jobs back to America. And if they don't...
Could have done that 4 years ago.
Don't do it, we'll put tariffs on them.
And did, which then created a glut of $1 trillion debt.
Those companies, and they'll
deficit, so that's per year.
Have to pay us a lot of money, so what are they going to do? They're going to bring the jobs back. In every action, every moment, and every decision, I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting for Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania.
A lot of people got rich and got powerful at your expense. Now, these same liberal hypocrites want to open up borders and let violent mobs rule the streets while they live in Waldorf compounds and communities.
Waldorf Astorias.
They want to defund police.
Eating their fancy salads. Drinking in the blood of children.
While hiring private security.
Don't let me stop and interrupt again. We got to get through this.
They want to let...
Seriously, guys, don't let me.
Rioters burn churches while jailing you for praying in your church. They want to abolish school choice while sending their children to the best.
Lovecraft? I want to watch Lovecraft. I do have HBO right now. Well, I don't have HBO. This lovely house has HBO.
Best private schools in the land. They want to cancel you. Totally cancel you. Take your job. Turn your family against you for speaking your mind while they indoctrinate your children.
I'm getting canceled!
With twisted worldviews that nobody ever thought possible. You notice they're not knocking down statues and monuments anymore because when
there's none left.
I saw what was happening, I took an old law and I signed a nice new executive order.
that did not change the law in any way, shape, or form.
And then I explained, 10 years if you knock down a statue, federal statue or monument.
Maximum.
And they were all set to march on Washington. We're going to knock down some nice statues. And then they said, you know what? Let's not march.
You know what?
The march ended very quickly. There was no more marching. They said, 10 years, that's a long time. That's a long time to knock over a statue that many people love and many people don't. And there's a way of getting it down. You do it through a legal process. It'll go quickly.
Oh, Jesus
if it's
Christ.
right.
Come on.
Joe Biden is the candidate of these privileged liberal hypocrites who hold you and your values in disdain. But you can send them all a thundering message on Election Day by voting for Trump Pence. Do we love our vice president? Do we love our vice president? I'll tell you.
Not really.
I watched Kamala last night, and I said, I'll take Mike.
Kamala.
I'll take Mike by a lot. He's been a great vice president, actually. Pennsylvania is the state that gave us the Declaration of Independence, Valley Forge, Gettysburg, and generations of...
How no one has connected Mike Pence and Pennsylvania yet? Come on, Republicans.
American patriots, just like you. You're patriots. You love this country. That's why you're here. You're sitting in this boiling, crazy hot sun.
Yeah, so I just started watching The West Wing, and the second or third episode is President, what's-his-face, is saying, hey, how come we have to respond at an appropriate level when we're attacked? And they said, well, because we're America, sir. And he came around. Appropriate response makes sense. You can't just kill a bunch of civilians. And then I was watching Trump this morning, sitting in the Oval Office, saying if they hit us, we're going to hit back 10 times harder. That's, so that's a little bit different than the West Wing and American history in general and being, a superpower with great responsibility.
But you're smart.
He's not a Spider-Man fan. Doesn't like mosquitoes, spiders, or sharks, apparently.
Smarter than me, because with you, it's on the back of your head. With me,
what?
I'm going to go home, and my wife is going to say...
Yes, proportional response. That's actually the title of the episode.
What happened? You look like a lobster. Look at the sun. This is great.
Oh.
I want to look like Lou, nice and dark, right, Lou? But with Lou, it's a little easier, I think. This is the state where workers got their hands dirty mining the coal and forging the steel that raised up the...
You guys are big West Wing fans. Oh, yeah, thanks, Rich. I can't. Producer Rich says I'm not allowed to pause anymore. I'm taking the mouse and I'm throwing it away.
In the history of the world, and we're going to be stronger than ever before. Remember that we are going to be stronger than ever before, and that's happening right now. Proud citizens like you help build this country. And you know this, look, together we're taking back our country, but I was just thinking, as I said,
from whom?
Stronger.
Who are we taking
They want to
back
come
from?
in and raise your taxes. They want to come in and put regulations on all of your factories and all of your jobs and all of your personal things, little things, and they laugh at it when I say it. The light bulb, those new expensive light bulbs.
Oh, God.
I said, what happened to the old ones? They're better.
He's going to do
said
toilets and
they were
dishwashers.
mandated out. I said, why? Nobody could explain why. I said, we're letting them back. The light bulbs are back. Dishwashers. They have dishwashers. They don't give you any water. They give you not enough water, so they're lousy. So what do people do? They press the button again and again. No water.
Again.
I let them have lots of water.
They rinse their dishes.
Just got back from Whirlpool in Ohio. They're thriving now because of what I did to competition from other countries. I tariffed them. And Whirlpool now went from a company that was just about over to a company that's thriving. Sink faucets, shower faucets. I won't say the third element of the bathroom because they always just bring that up. So I won't say that, but you know what I'm talking about.
President
They
Trump.
don't allow water. You go into a new hotel, you turn on the water, there's no water. I opened it up. I said they could have as much water. I mean, does Pennsylvania have a problem with water? No. Yeah, you have a problem with water. You have too much of it. Right? You have too much water. You got to get rid of it. So why are we having restrictors? They have restrictors on, so I took it off. These are little things. I tell you about them. A lot of people appreciate them. A lot of people don't know about it. But now you can go out and buy a light bulb for a tiny fraction of the cost. It's better. Won't last as long, but it's better. It's better light. Makes me look much better. That's a very important thing. But you can buy now faucets where water actually comes out. And so instead of having it like on for many times longer, and actually when I take a shower, I can have water hit my hair instead of drop. It's hard enough, my hair, without that. So
I'm just going to pause here because Whirlpool is actually doing quite well this year since the big drop. They've come back. They're nowhere near their high, by the way, which was in 2015. Who was president in 2015, I wonder? Have to look that up. That'd be FDR or something, I believe.
So now we can actually have water pouring out of our shower heads, okay? So a lot of good things. We've done a lot of things that nobody talks about, nobody writes about, but it's about quality of life. And I think the people really appreciate it. I really do. Not so easy to do. Not so easy to do. I don't think anybody else could have done it. Nobody else would have thought to do things like that, but nobody else would have done it. We're returning power to you, the American people, from Scranton to Easton. How's Ernie doing? Good? How good is Ernie, right? Is he great? Ernie Holmes. He was heavyweight champ, right? The champ.
Yeah.
Larry. Sorry about that. I know another one named Ernie
Larry
Holmes.
Holmes. Yeah.
Larry Holmes. Is he still in the
Ernie.
area of?
Ernie Holmes.
How good was Larry, right?
Heavyweight champion.
That was probably Muhammad Ali's
Michelle Tyson.
Most dangerous fight. I've never seen anything like it. Muhammad would never go down, but Larry Holmes was a great champion, and I know he loved Easton. He used to tell me that I want to invest my money in Easton. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I hope he's doing well, but he was one hell of a fighter. From Scranton to Easton to Allentown.
Ernie was always fighting with.
We're going to fight
Bert
for
Ali.
every job, every family,
Bert and Ernie, they call
every
them.
neighborhood, and every vote. Together we'll unite citizens of every race, color, religion, and creed as one people, one family, one glorious nation under God. That's another word they don't want you to say, God. You know that,
Nation?
right?
Oh.
Did you see they were doing something last night that was extremely basic and always has had the word God in it, and they decided to take the word God out.
No.
But this is where they're coming from.
Truth or Fiction's run this. Snopes has run this. The Democrats did not take under God out of anything.
They're coming to get you. This is where they're coming from. And we're the wall between the American dream and total insanity and the destruction of the greatest country in the history of the world. We're all that stands.
That comes from Laura Ingraham, apparently.
We're all that stands. And a typical Republican probably wouldn't get there, but I think I'm, very Republican in many ways, but your typical Republican would not be able to win. Like your area, this has always been a Democrat area, and yet the votes for Trump here are through the roof. You know how successful we were 4 years ago.
What was he?
Incredible. It's a great area. These are great people. They're great, hardworking, incredible people, and we love them. With your drive and devotion, we will win a historic victory on November 3rd, and we will make a...
We will win a historic victory.
People, and we love them. With your drive and devotion, we will win a historic victory on November 3rd, and we will make America greater than it's ever been before. I just want to thank the people of Scranton, the lack of home, okay, the lack of home for Joe Biden. Remember, the next time, we've got to stop him from saying these things. But you look at, he's going to make a speech tonight. It's going to be very interesting to see how he does. And I hope he does well. I'll be honest, I do. I hope he does well. I really hope he does well. But I also want him to tell the truth. He's got to tell the truth about things. And he's going to do a lot better if he does. But hopefully not well enough. Right now, we are leading a war that's incredible. But right now, we're leading in so many polls that they refuse to put out. We're doing so good in this state, in North Carolina, in Florida, in Texas, in Ohio, in Michigan. You know how many car plants are being built or expanded in Michigan? We're doing fantastically in Michigan. We're doing great in New Hampshire. These are real polls. These aren't suppression polls. These aren't polls where they do registered voters. Registered. No. You want to do voters that are going to vote. Registered voters. You want to do what's called likely voters. Likely. In other words, people that are likely to vote, not registered voters, many of whom have died, many of whom aren't going to vote. And then you want to do an even count. You don't want to do many more Democrats. They do a poll, many, right? Many Democrats, few Republicans. Trump is down by 6. And then you look and you say, well, if that poll is true, we're up by 10. So we're going to see, you're going to see.
Lackawanna County voted for Hillary in 2016, 50 to 46%.
They did it last time.
How? Take a look at Pennsylvania. Take a look at Pennsylvania. Hold on, let me get rid of that. This is Pennsylvania in 2016. Take a dartboard and throw a dart at this map. You're going to hit either Republican county or a mail-in ballot. That's what's going to happen. He picked a Democratic county, Lackawanna County. Went for Hillary. Just, it's almost like he tries to be incompetent. That's a line from one of my songs.
They had me losing every swing state. I think they had me losing like 9 states that I won. But he's going to lose, right? You were the first one that told me, Lou. He's going to lose 7 swing states. He's going to lose them all. He's down by 14. Washington Post, ABC. They had me down 1 week before the election, 12 to 14 points. The day of the election, because we complained that it was a fake poll. So they changed it the day of the election, and they had us just about even. Remember that whole big deal?
No.
We said, you can't say we're done, because that's called suppression. Then you say, hey, I love Trump, but I can't vote for him because I don't have the time, because he's not going to win. But if you would have gone out and voted, we would have won. The problem was last time for them, 2016, everybody went out and voted. There was no suppression. There was incredible exhilaration.
Okay.
Except on the other side.
Then the polls weren't suppression polls if there was no suppression.
They were not. You ever see those pictures of the craziness going on? But the polls were fake.
What?
Just like their stories are fake, just like the news is fake. The polls are even worse. And we're now actually doing worse. As one of the most accurate polls was polls were fake, just like their stories are fake, just like the news is fake. The polls are even worse. And we're now actually doing worse. As one of the most accurate polls was Rasmussen. And Rasmussen came out today. Did you see it? 51 for Trump, 51. I think they were one of the 3 most accurate polls. And the ones that are telling the truth, sometimes, I mean, they have a poll that came out recently that was very favorable. They refused to release it. They didn't want the people to see it. What kind of stuff is this? That's why you're going to do a great job, right? You're going to make sure this stuff doesn't happen, but we're going to make sure too. So we're going to win this, and I think we're going to win it really big. When you see those people outside, and I mean, you can take this crowd and multiply it times, it looks like 100, right?
Okay, Rasmussen's poll on Biden versus Trump. Here it is right here, so you know I'm not making it up. Biden 48, Trump 44. Okay? Biden 48, Trump 44. That's Rasmussen. He's bragging about the most accurate poll. He's down by 4.
You can multiply it times 100, but when you see this crowd and when you see the kind of enthusiasm, there's nothing like it. We're leading, by the way, even they admit, we're leading by enthusiasm, by numbers like they've never seen before, record numbers, meaning we have record enthusiasm and he has a record lack of enthusiasm. And that is a big, big factor. So I just want to thank all of the people from this incredible...
I do take Venmo, Ruth Ann. Here it is right here. Almost done with the broadcast, kids. I just need to lie down. I just got to go outside.
Place. I mean, it's just a great place. I've been here for so long and so much, and I love it. And I love the people. We're going to have the biggest victory. We're going to have a victory that will equal or surpass what we did in 2016. Thank you all very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's from Marcy. Oh, God, stop it. Okay. Marcy did us the kindness of sending in this wonderful dartboard that I may or may not get back. There it is, right there. That's dartboarded President Trump from the Amazons. There's no price on it. They are out. They're out of those ones. But it is the perfect gift for a Trump lover or hater. Either one. That's what, like, I like it. I have a dartboard with my children on it because I just love piercing my children with sharp metal objects. That's my fun. Hey, kids, I hope you've had fun on this broadcast. I certainly have. Oh, that's apparently not true. God, it's just getting worse. But sharks. So good job hanging in there, everyone that's still around. If you'd like to support this broadcast, go to kevinleefather.com or send me money right here. PayPal.me/KevinLeeDad, Venmo, blah, 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 whatever that stuff is. Thanks to everybody again who donated to send a kid to school in Kenya last week. We raised over $500. We'll be doing it again on October 3rd, 1 month before election night. Join us for a fundraising dinner for booksandbricks.org. If you'd like to help me out and you're already giving me money or you don't have any money to give, that's fine. Share one of these broadcasts with a friend. Get them on board. Have them come along for the fun. For those of you who were watching but not chatting, hi. And those of you who are in the chat room, screw you. No, I'm kidding because I love. You know what I want is I want a dartboard with everyone's face on it that I can... Oh, God, I'm all done with my kids' blood. I'm out, so I've got to visit the local pizza place and hit the basement. You guys have been so good to me today, figuring out... No, we're not doing Billy Joel. Are we doing Billy Joel Madness? I don't want to know who won. I don't want it to be over. God, I just... honestly, like half an hour ago, guys, I was like, I gotta... Guys, I can't do it today. I gotta go lie down. I can't... I got nothing. I'm feeling all... This is a description. Hurley. I'm feeling all Hurley today. But because Rich is a producer... Hey, kids! It's time for Billy Joel Madness. Let's go find the Twitters. Let's see who won the ultimate Billy Joel Madness. So it came down to a final vote in the Billy Joel Madness between Piano Man and New York State of Mind. I'll let you guys know, I was thinking about this the other day. New York State of Mind, to me, a better song. But Piano Man, if it wins, totally fine with that. Love both those songs. They're like my kids. I don't like either of them. Not in the middle of the night when they're waking me up. Dad, can you... Let's see what the result of the Billy Joel Madness is. Let's bring you guys into this, too. What do you say? Let's go... we'll close up. There you are. I don't know if they're going to be spilling the covfefe beans tomorrow. Here's the deal with the spilling the covfefe. Whoa, I don't even know what's going on over here. Hi. In the mornings now, my mornings consist of driving Kevin Lee daughter to and from set. Because she's a background actor again. So she's been going on a daily basis, and the time keeps changing. Some days it's 6 a.m., some days it's 11 a.m., and I never know. Plus, it's early. So, I'd like to do more spilling covfefe with Kevin Lee. We'll get to it. But right now, what I have to do is some Billy Joel Madness. I'm going to hit the enter key. Let's see what pops up. It may come up with the most popular one, in which case we'll shift over to latest, and we'll find out who won. Piano Man or New York State of Mind, which is the #1 Billy Joel song of all time. Drum roll. I can't do the drum roll and hit the button at the same time. Hold on. I'm doing the drum roll with one hand. Ha-ha! New York State of Mind beat We Didn't Start the Fire, which was a Final Four battle. This is going to be it. This is going to be the actual vote. Here it is. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, God. Okay. There's Dr. Howard, Dr. Howard, Dr. Howard. There it is! New York State of Mind. 52.9%. We're going to say 53%. Compared to 47%. Good battle between two epic giants. There we go. That was it. That's the letdown, folks. It's like rolling over at the end of it and saying, no, that was really, really great. I got to go. I have to take my daughter to the studio in the morning. No, I'll text you. It's been, woo! Okay, so are we doing cheese now? Are we moving on to the top 32 cheese? Yeah, Patreon does take some money from me, and that's okay, guys. So New York State of Mind. Yeah, if you want to, I think, hold on. I'm going to try and set up PayPal. I also have to do something called Cash App. There's a bunch of other stuff to do. But I will put it all together at some point, probably after the election when Trump's gone, and none of you will watch this anymore. Yeah, Venmo or PayPal can give me the total amount if it comes out of your bank account. If you're using a credit card, Patreon takes some, PayPal takes some, Venmo probably takes... I don't even know if Venmo can take credit cards. I have no idea. Cheese madness. Jesus, guys. Praise the Lord. Maybe we'll do... Oh, apparently we will. I didn't even mean to do that. Apparently we're doing cheese madness next. We'll see. Okay, guys. Hey, it's been fun. I am going to go lie down now. I've given you all I can today. Wait, there's still 2 minutes left to vote? Are you kidding me, Dr. Howard? Holy crap! There's still 2 minutes left to vote. I thought it was over. So it's only been a week. Hold on, guys. So you can still go to, boom, Billy Joe Madness and vote. 0 minutes left. Hold on. Let me refresh. And that was anticlimactic. Nothing changed. Piano Man, New York State of Mind. It's the same. I didn't even realize that. Good catch. So, yeah, that's it. Everybody voted. See, that was the mistake, Marcy. Mailing in your vote like that after they took all the post offices out of Hawaii. What are you going to do? The Venmo address again? Oh, Ruth Ann, you rock. Ruth Ann is the best. She really is, guys. Hold on. Here it comes. At Kevin-Williams-157. There. That's the Venmo. I don't know if there's couch in here or not. Post office delayed your vote. Yeah. The post office delayed everything. It was only a week ago. It feels like 3 weeks ago. I honestly thought that I was shirking in my duties. I'm like, I know it's over, but I don't want to do it because then it's going to be over. That's how time is moving right now, guys. I thought it was, if I had to guess, if someone pointed a gun to my head and said, guess how long ago the week-long vote for the final Billy Joel song started, I would say, why are you holding a gun to... I'll just tell you. What is wrong with you? Plus, put the gun... Take your finger off the trigger. And then I'd realize I'm at the RNC. That's how they do. All right. Guys, I'm going to take off. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to go lie down. Everybody, be good. Here are your closing credits. Congratulations to New York State of Mind.
Here we go. This is Seattle.
That's not the closing credits. Hold on. That's the closing credits.
Kevin, is this helpful to Joe Biden?